2. This is the video game Banished. It's a city builder game. Got to be honest, haven't played it in years, and I really don't remember much about how to play. It is an awesome game. One of the best games ever made. So, the first thing you got to do is you got to get them doing something. In this case, they have to build a home, and you don't want to build the wooden homes, but what choice do you have? I want them to do something like chop wood. So you get the chopper over here, right? No, that's the wrong one. I don't remember how to do it. It's like a tree forest or something. Maybe they can't do it. Oh, it looks like do they do it on their own? I don't remember. I'm going to build a bunch of houses. You want the stone houses, but you don't always have the choice. And you have to work as quickly as possible at the beginning of the game. I don't remember how to rotate a house. There it is. So these people, they look like they're not doing anything. Is the game paused or something? Not moving. I don't know if they chop down trees automatically in this game. The little house above every person means that they don't have a home. You gotta build the homes, and you gotta get food going as quickly as possible. I hope I have it. Okay, so you got to set the number of people. Or maybe they will go... Okay, they're going to go to it automatically as far as I know. I remember in this game, the people automatically look for jobs. There's a lot of bugs in the game, obviously. If it needs something, it needs workers. There's some sort of a panel somewhere. It's not visible for some reason. That has a list of all the workers. Not that one. There it is. So we got laborers. We need a builder. We need a farmer. We need someone to chop trees down, a woodcutter. They're probably going to start working on those items. Sounds like someone's cutting something, right? The beginning of the game is very important. You have to do everything right to make sure you have enough food and that they have a house to live in. Everything needs to be going. So what's going to happen is you're probably going to make mistakes at the beginning of the game, and it might take you a couple tries to get it going. Okay, over here we got somebody standing next to something that needs to be done. Yeah, like this guy's finally building the house. So we've got stone cutter. Because obviously stone, maybe it needs a special building, I really don't remember. Looks like the house is being built. They're probably going to fight over it. I'm going to put 2 farmers. You see how it says laborer, it says 6? That means that there are 6 people that have nothing to do. The woodcutter doesn't work because he needs the building to cut the wood. That's what my expectation is. So we're going to look for somebody to cut wood. This is actually for firewood. Okay, you see how it says remove resources? You go over here and you go like this, and you highlight it, and they will go and they'll start clearing that out. Should probably grow food, and by growing I mean fish for food. So I'm going to put a house over here. I know you don't see it, but it will be built. Did the game pause again? Oh, maybe the spacebar pauses it. He's going to build that little house to fish. Going to build the house a little faster. And the reason why is because these guys, if they start working on a house, they're not going to finish it in one sitting. They're going to take breaks and things like that. One of the biggest problems you're going to have in the game is the tools. You have to make sure that you are producing the best tools for your people. If you don't, your civilization will collapse. And the reason why is because if they don't have good tools, they won't farm as much food, and then they'll all start to starve. And if it gets to the point where there's one person left, they're a goner, you know? They don't, if you've got thousands of people and it dwindles down to 50, and you've got a big property, lots of houses, they won't manage anything properly. Like one guy will live on one side of the map, another guy will live on the other side of the map. And then the whole entire society will collapse. And the other issue is that if you have a big map and you need work in one spot, let's say there's food in one place and people are starving in the other, they won't move the food. They only go a certain distance and it's not enough to make it across. So you'll have a lot of surplus supply chain issues. What I did was I used the rivers to transport goods back and forth. It makes a big difference. There's got to be some sort of a panel that shows if they're starving or not. I don't remember if the event log does anything. Okay, so it looks like we got some houses. Remember that you should be able to upgrade them, right? There's an option somewhere to turn it into a stone house. At some point, you're going to want to do that. You want to turn all of your houses into stone houses. It will make them more efficient. In terms of something like crops, it's not expensive to make a crop field. Just make lots of them. And have your dudes work on it when they get a chance. And then delete them when you're done with them. You know, at the beginning of the game, don't worry so much about the crop field. So I planted it, I chose the type of food, and then I added a farmer. All this stuff needs to be cleared out. Eventually I'm going to have to clear it out, but it looks like we definitely have an issue. You know, we're going to have a food issue. They're not growing food right now. We're going to have to see what food options are out there. I will put one of these, which will collect food. You don't want to place too many buildings. It's the same in almost every game. Because if they have too many things to build, they might not prioritize it properly, and then they'll have a lot of buildings that are half built. I literally, I was watching one of the guys, and he needed like a piece of wood, and he was standing right next to it. He didn't pick it up. So that's another issue with the game. Don't assume that because there's something right next to him that he will pick it up and use it. He might go pick up a piece of wood that's far away and then bring it back and put it next to the wood that he didn't pick up before. Weird things like that happen. Looks like they are growing a little bit of food. I should probably build roads. At some point you want stone roads, don't build them right now. Build one that way, and another one's going to go this way. So, what is the way to win the game? You have different products that you make. Let's say a brewery. You have to get the resources. You have to produce the product, and you have to get to the end point. How are you going to get rid of it? So your goal should be to make a production system where you're producing everything, and it's a small distance to where it is manufactured and a small distance to where it's consumed. So what you're going to do, you're going to build all the production. You're going to transport it to a manufacturing area and then to the retail area. Through trading, you can make a lot of money. You can bring things in. And eventually, at the end game, you're going to run out of stones. You're going to run out of iron. And trees, you might have problems with trees, although it's not so much. The end game is going to be trade. You're going to want a lot of trading ports with people bringing in resources and exporting them. It's the only way to support a large economy. Looks like they cleared out that area. I am going to mark a new area. You use the remove resources option. Go like this, and it works. Now keep in mind, eventually they need wood. It's not going to last forever. Only got 67. So I need to build something to chop trees down. You need the forester lodge is what it is. And you don't really need it to be near your dudes. You can put it kind of far away. Like I could put it right here. At some point you're going to want the forester lodges to be kind of far away and transporting all the wood into your town. You can see I got a lot of iron. That's good for making tools, and making tools is going to make your people more productive. And now you also need education and all that stuff. There's a lot of mods like you can buy or download for free different buildings, like a bigger church or a bigger school. And there is one drawback in that some of them are very powerful. And what will happen is I added a new farm, which means that I need a new farmer. So you've got things that you can download, like a dairy farm, milk production, cheese, or whatever. And some of them are so productive that you could just download one and produce forever. I think producing honey is the one that overproduces, and that is the downloadable content that comes from the game manufacturer. Luckily, they got the fishery going. You see how I'm building this and it's covering up the trees and the rocks? They're going to have to go remove all those trees and rocks. They'll do it. We're going to have fish soon. He has all the resources. He just has to finish building it. You notice that the map is very small. It's, you know, one of the design issues of the game. They should have made the map bigger. If you don't know what to do, remove resources so that they start piling up. It doesn't matter if you're full because they'll leave stacks of stuff lying around. And they're going to collect some food. It looks like they got some sort of a berry over here that will go in and be stored as food. It takes a couple days to build a large city, and to do the entirety of a large map does take a long time, and the resources are definitely going to move slowly. So I got the fishermen. I'm going to put 2. In order for the population to grow, you need houses, and you need young people. So what you'll do is you'll build a house, and 2 young people will get married and they'll move into the house. There is a special structure for the houses called a boarding house. And it's good to have because if people don't have a home, they will go to the boarding house, even if they're not married. I'm going to put this house over here and start growing the city up that way. But you can only go so far because of these forest circles. You can see they put food in their houses. Got a new building, it's the hunting cabin, so we need a hunter. Don't have any. I'm gonna pull out a builder and add a hunter. You always want to have an extra laborer, because if it goes down to 0, then what will happen is you'll lose track of who's doing what, and they'll start coming out of buildings that might be important, like your teacher might disappear, and you need to have the teacher to educate your people. Okay, so building a lot of houses is a good strategy. You want to get those houses going. Probably going to build it right there, and I will build a road going this way. It takes a lot of resources to build a bridge, so don't build it right now. Don't worry about that land over there. Just focus on the land that's near you. Don't see anything going into the supplies yet. There is a food option, like a gatherer, and it might sound kind of dumb, like some guy's going to go around gathering food. They're going to do a good job. They're going to find a lot of stuff for you as long as they're near a forest. Haven't harvested any food yet. You can harvest early, you won't get the full harvest. So I am concerned right now about building houses because I need it to grow the population. I'm going to remove a builder. People will do any job except for the children. The children aren't going to work. But the people will do any job, and they all carry the same amount of materials, no matter what their age is, or if it's male or female. Don't have enough people or materials to build all the houses I need, but you really got to get those houses going. I am going to build a road over here in the back. I hope I didn't build it too far. Yeah, I built it too far. This guy's got a while to go. stone iron log. He doesn't have enough stone. I'm going to use the remove resources option to collect this stone over here. And over here. I'm pretty sure you can choose to do just stone. Yeah, there's an option over here that says collect stone. Eventually all the trees will be flattened. You're going to have little gaps here and there where they'll be able to plant a tree between the buildings. So if you put the forester in the middle of the city, they will collect things, especially along the rivers where the edges have an irregular shape. So that's where your foresters are going to be planting the trees that are going to supply your city. They don't need to have this big forest. They only have to have a small number. Over here, it makes sense to build a road that connects to the fishers over here. Not only that, you see, these people have to have a house. They're going to go to a house. This is where a fisherman lives. They're going to go here to rest, to sleep, to eat. Better to put the house right next to where they work. They'll go a very short distance. Having them go a short distance to get all the work done is extremely important in this game. You don't want them to go a long distance. So like if I build the forester, I'm going to build a house next to it. And he's going to live there and he's going to be happy. And then he'll have his child bride live with him. We got 2 people who were born. So they're going to add to the population once they get older. It's going to take a little bit of time. There's no resources over here. The laborer, there's only one laborer. He's supposed to be the one that brings resources to this facility, but he's probably busy goofing off or something. There he is. You know what? He just brought 2 logs in. So you can see he's really lazy. He only brings in 2 logs at a time. It's nice to have roads with regular shapes, so that when they walk across the map, they don't have to keep on zigzagging. It really doesn't matter in this game. I believe that many people can stand in the same place. Like maybe you could have 100 people all standing in the same square. But my opinion is that try to line up your roads. Maybe it makes no... It does make a difference if they're going a long distance, because you just want them to walk straight. If they're going horizontally across and then back, it increases the amount of time they spend walking over a long distance. There's no need to make a double width road. You'll rarely see it in the game. It'll be only in very small areas. It says I'm running out of stone. They did bring in some squash and some fish, so we got some food going.
Finally, we got this building going. Obviously, he's going to bring in the wood. You notice there's a yellow circle. That's the range that they will chop down trees. And the range is actually pretty good. You would think if you add more people, it would increase or decrease the range. They did not design that into the game. As far as I know, they made one release and they never did any upgrade or a second version. And this game came out a long time ago. I know I was living in South America. It had to have been... You know, I haven't lived in South America in over 4 years. I chose the wheat because you want to alternate as much as possible. Really need to have more houses. You see over here we've got, it needs a worker. Unfortunately, I don't have enough workers, so it's just going to have to go untended to. No big deal. It's better to have the food sitting here than to have a blank green space. The structure is about to be built. He only needs to hit the hammer a few more times. This one is going to need a little bit of stone. These need stone. So we really got to work on the stone. I am going to work on the stone. We got a lot of stone right over here. You know what? You see how I'm lighting up all this stone and it's turning red? You can do as much as you want. You can go over here and go like this. No big deal. It's not going to slow the game down or anything like that. We don't have the forester. We don't have enough people. We need more people to be born. And then they need to grow into adults. And I'm guessing it takes like 13 years game time. You see how the weather changes? It probably has to go through 13 weather cycles. There's a... How do you do that? See over here we got children. That age 8. That child probably has to be 13 in order to start working. Now, obviously, in the real world, the child would be working before the age of 13. But the child would be doing things such as gathering berries, learning how to fish, if it's with the father, for example, working to harvest the field. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in 30 seconds. So I was just going to say, in terms of the children in the game, my parents were farmers, my aunts and uncles were farmers, grandparents were farmers. They worked on the farm when they were children. I used to work on a farm when I was a child. We would go outside the city, go to the farm, and it takes you like a minute for my mother to teach me what is a ripe tomato and which ones to pick and which ones not to pick. It doesn't take you a lifetime to learn. You can literally teach a child in 1 minute what is a ripe fruit or vegetable. So that's one of the aspects of the game that I don't like. They should have given the children the task of gathering berries and carrying heavy cargo. You know what? Because I'm not as old as my parents, they would drive the car through the farm. We had a station wagon, and my father, the car got stuck in the middle of the farm because it had rained. There was a water puddle somewhere, and took a while. Took like an hour to get it out, but it was just a fond memory because I was going around. I was the one who got the car out. I was a child, but I knew to fill the hole with rocks. So I went around the farm, picking up rocks, put it in the hole, while my parents were farming. While they were collecting tomatoes. It was a tomato farm. And then by the time they were done, they just drove the car out fairly easily. And they didn't even ask me to do it. And I was probably like 8 years old. Super smart kid. Okay, so we still need stone. Stone is the big thing. He needs 2 more pieces of stone in order to get the tools, and getting the tools means getting more stone. This hunter dude doesn't look like he's pulling anything in. As long as you have trees, you have hunting. And within the yellow circle. I believe this is a game where the animals just walk through the water. There's an animal right here. Got some animals. Or shall we say food. Finally, we got someone that has become an adult. Not one of the ones that was born. Maori. It's funny, I actually know someone named Maori. All these names are obviously they're not completely fictitious. But you see, the child is 10 years old. To be honest, I don't know if the child will do any job. But my understanding is that because it's an adult... let's look up Maori again. The job used to say child. So now the 10 years old makes you an adult. That's fair. You can prioritize anything you want. I could prioritize collecting rock if I want to. Not that big of a deal. They'll find a way. These people that are going out there, they're probably going for rocks. They're not... Oh, they don't have homes still. So if they don't have a home, they have to go to the storage barn to get food. So what you got to do is you have to have storage barns throughout the map so that people can get food if they need it. Otherwise, they got to go to their homes. There is one of the downloadable mods that I really like, which is a root cellar. You build into the side of a mountain. Otherwise, the mountain serves no purpose. And it stores a lot of items. That's why I really like it. This has all of its materials delivered. So from this point onward, they just need to hammer away at it. Needs a little more, needs 6 more stone. And then some people are going to get houses. I don't know if this mode is going to have the winter season or not. And again, having the house is very important because people need to be married. Once they get to be around 40 years old, if the women are 40 years old, they will not have children anymore. I don't know what the exact age is. If your population of women gets to 40 years old and they don't have houses to live in and be married, then they will not have any children and your population is over. You have to have at least one woman under the age, I guess it's between 18 and 40. If you don't have one woman, if you lose that woman, the game's over. So we got a storage capacity. It's not a big deal because all it means is they'll just put it next to it. All you gotta do is go like this. Boom. You got more storage. So you want them to clear away this stone. They got to come out here. They're going to freeze to death. And then they got to bring everything back. And because of the distance they have to walk in the wintertime, they will freeze to death. So make it so that they only got to put the stone in the stockpile and let somebody else pick it up later. It's not good that we're in winter and we've got all these people coming out here without a house. This is not good. I'm going to look for the option to cancel. And I'm going to go like... Maybe they collected all the stone over here. They're going too far away. I'm going to cancel all this. Because at this point in the game, it's dangerous. Because they don't have the proper clothing. Looks like this is not being marked when I mark it for some reason. These houses now have all the resources. We just need the guy to go hammer the houses to build them into structures. When the blacksmith is finished, you might have the choice of more than one item to produce, but let's say it's tools, then making tools will make your people more efficient and also educating them. And also having good health and all those things. Ideally, you want to have a house out here. You cannot, let's say you got your little town, you should not go and build a house far away. Because bringing the resources, building it, etc., the people will die before they complete it. You have to go little by little. You have to build over here, then you have to build over here, etc. You see how it's got the snow? That means that they need that they have an emergency situation, perhaps with their clothing. Finding somewhere warm. The clothing is fair. The clothing is there, but it's not going to last. Once the person is in the building, see the person, the snowflake went away. Person went to his home, warmed up, and now he's ready to go again. Everybody did that. The problem with that is that it delays them working. It's a huge problem in the game. They will come out, they'll chop on a rock for 5 seconds, and then they'll go back and eat. They'll come out, chop on a rock for 5 seconds, go back and be warm. Come out and chop on a rock for 5 seconds, and then they'll go back and eat again. It's a big issue with the game. So you're going to see that type of behavior where they're very, very unproductive. You want to have, like, if the farmer works his field, his house has to literally be right next to it. I wouldn't even make it 2 fields away. And the same with the food storage and everything. As far as I know, this guy has not hunted anything. I don't see any food item. It would have to be venison or something like that. And I don't see any venison. So he's doing a lousy job. Maybe it was a mistake. And you do have to be aware that, for example, you see how it says cut and plant? Some of the buildings might have more than one option for what they are able to do. And you want to make sure you have it set. It's supposed to say work. You don't want to click on that unless you want to disable it. We've got stone again. We're going to run low on firewood. That's bad. People will freeze in the wintertime without the firewood. We're going to have to get the firewood dude going. I believe this game has charts and statistics. There is a path option that shows you like where somebody's going to walk or something like that. See what I'm talking about? Like this house, you click on the house and it shows you where everybody works. So what you do is you click on the house, and if they're going a long distance, you got to fix it. You got to provide housing to where they're going to. The statistics are not available until a later stage in the game when you build the town hall, which is probably this building right here. We don't have enough laborers to operate these buildings, so I am going to put the blacksmith so he can build better tools. It's still doing the path thingy. See, it says log plus iron plus coal. That's an example of an option. If they run out of coal, they stop producing, so you have to make the decision. You need the coal to make the better tools.
And if you stop, you lose your supply of coal, which can happen. People will die because they won't be able to produce enough food.
got another house. There are people that now live here. Still got some homeless people. The other house should resolve that problem. Notice that no one has been born in a while. The resource of firewood is low. That is really bad. We got to get the fire chopper going. The wood chopper, the wood cutter it's called. Guess where you put it? You put it right over here next to the forester so that he gets the wood immediately. You don't want the forester to bring the wood over to here and then the wood to go back over here to the wood cutter and go back to the stockpile. You just want it to go through. So there was a game I played a long time ago called the Settlers, and that's the first city builder type game that I played. And lining up all the buildings made the game very successful. Made it very efficient. So we're in the first year right now. It's possible that the people, the children, it's possible that they level up four human years every game year or something like that. I believe that I don't know if they fish, maybe they don't fish year round. I'm going to find out. Looks like he does. He's fishing year round. That's why you want the fishery. I know you're going to say you love fish. You eat it every day. Or as, Brian Regan would say, cold fish heads. Don't be timid about dropping fish down. They provide food year round. And you can live off of fisheries. As long as they're not competing with each other. So it is a food source. The other food sources will give you variety. But fish is the spice of life. There's also another great feature. There's a guy who made 2-story houses where one family can live in the bottom and the other family can live in the top. And the houses are super ugly. However, it's a great mod. The only problem is they are wood houses. Maybe they changed it so they got stone houses. But, having the wood houses, double-decker families really works out. I believe it means the difference between stone and wood is that they burn more firewood if you have a wood house. So if you have a wood house, you got to chop more trees down. But if you've got the 2-family one, you can have a larger population. Now keep in mind, chopping more trees down means that your population can't do something else like dig for gold, or I don't even know if you can dig for gold in the game. If they're doing a lesser job in the production chain, if you got to chop more firewood. You got the guy hunting the wood, looking for the wood, chopping the wood, transporting the wood. It's better if they have jobs making beer and selling it than chopping wood. Okay, so we've got these dudes over here. They don't have any firewood, but at least they got a house to live in. It's possible that if all your houses run out of firewood, that maybe everybody dies, but I don't remember. It's probably true. It's just one of those things you're going to learn about the game by playing. Okay, guess what? We've only got one building under construction. We've got enough materials. Oh, all they got to do is transport stuff over here. They haven't done anything, you know? We're going to have to build another house. We got to do it. Only way to grow the population. I'm going to build it right here. I'm going to build a road. So guess what happened? Now we have a little space over here, and we've got space over here that we can't build anything. There is a mod where you can probably build a house in this space or a storage area. And same with over here. Guess what we do? We do a stockpile right here. And we do another one. They never removed that that road. I guess I used the wrong tool. So I will build a stockpile. It's very easy to find. So then, where else do you build stockpiles? You're going to build them over here next to your fishery. You're going to build them where the bridges cross over. And the big stockpile, eventually you'll probably be able to get rid of it. But there's also, if you have really good production, you might end up with really big stockpiles. Having small stockpiles throughout the map works. Don't think, oh, I gotta have the big stockpile. It doesn't make a difference. The big stockpile, you just count up the squares. It holds the same amount of material. I don't know if there's a road here. Yeah, there's a road over here. So I am going to finish the road. It's okay if you build the road again. If you do another road on top of the road, you don't pay for it. Look how quickly he built the house. And when I say built the house, I mean laid down the foundation. We've got another dude that became an adult. One of the children that was born says Ranson. Oh no, Ranson was not one of the ones that was born. So another child has become an adult. We've got another laborer available. So what's going to happen is, let's say you have a population of 100, you might have 90 laborers, or 80. So we're going to put that guy as the forester. You might wonder, are there jobs that people don't need to do? Yes, the physician and the cleric. The physician you need if there is a medical issue. But the medical issues are only, I don't want to say the wrong word because of all the censorship going around, but let's say somebody gives a medical issue to another person. The physician needs to be employed. But if nobody has any sickness, he does not need to be employed. So you don't have to have the physician. If there is a emergency, you just go and create physicians. And the cleric is something where if you need extra people real fast, just go get rid of all your clerics. If you do something like the school teacher, it has a bigger impact. If you get rid of your teachers, you lose all the students. And then when you add the teacher back, they lose all that educational time, and they might not come back to school because maybe they're adults. So you want the teachers to be in there as much as possible. We got another guy, Estherford, that has become a laborer, so now we have another laborer, which I could make a farmer. I didn't have to do that. You see over here it says 2 farmers. I could have just made it 1 farmer. And this one says 3 farmers. But you know what? You want the 3 farmers because they take breaks so often. You're going to be shocked at how often they take a break. They'll come, they'll put a little bit of food in a basket, and then they'll go take a break, and then they'll come and do the same thing. They don't come and clear out the field, and then clear out another field, and clear out another field. It doesn't happen. They're very lazy. I don't know if it's just when the game becomes big or not. We're in the second year now. But what I am telling you is that they have issues with how much they work, and it will be affected by their education level, their hunger, whether or not they want to go to the herbalist. They go to the herbalist, it says, for minor ailments. So the herbalist is, the physician does a major health issue. Herbalist does a minor health issue. And the major health issue that the physician does is censored by YouTube, so I can't say it. But what will happen is people will come from out of town and they'll bring a little surprise with them, and it will spread from person to person. And I think there's more than one different thing that they bring in. You notice that they put the stones over here on this little stockpile, which means that what they did was they cut the stone, put it on the stockpile, cut the stone, put it on the stockpile, instead of going back and forth to the stockpile. There is a building, like a trading area, the market. They move a ton of materials between markets. So if you want to have like markets at the center of your town. You put a market here, and then you build another one over here, you build another town around it, and that's the way you design it. And they will move large amount of materials, but you need a lot of people because they are, guess what, very lazy. They're not hard workers. We still have the issue that we need people to become adults. Like Bert is about to become adult, not Michaelin. Michaelin is 3, and we are in our second year. And Michaelin was one of the ones that was born. That means they do about 2 years human growth for 1 year game time. If you are watching this replay, you can fast forward the audio, I believe. I don't know if YouTube has that feature, but there might be a feature where you could play double time and listen to me speak real fast. So, the other thing you want to do, as the game moves on, another child was born, and another one became an adult. You might want to play with the fast forward and the slow forward, because if your computer slows down, it might be better. What you do is you're going to use the fast forward when you're doing nothing, and then use the slow or pause when you're editing. Right now, I don't have to pause when I'm editing. All of the houses all the buildings are built, so it makes sense to build a new building. Look at how quickly they built that. This guy just reached his maximum production of 50 tools. And the reason why you do that is because if they make too many, they're going to use up the wood and the iron, and then you might end up with thousands of tools for no laborers. We don't even have 50 laborers, so why make so many tools? In fact, we might only have 14. 14 adults, 0 students, 6 children. So a child becomes an adult at the age of 10, but I believe what happens is if you have a school, they become a student at the age of 10. And then maybe they become an adult at the age of 13 or 16 or something like that. Okay, YouTube is going to censor this video so hard. We've got a lot of laborers. So I'm going to put the woodcutter. Look at how quickly they built both houses. You don't have to build a road for all your houses, but they're so easy to do. The sensible thing is to just do it. And over here I'll put a stop. You know, you want stone houses, but there's a big cost in building it, and you might have problems with your population. It won't build a stockpile. So what's going to happen is I'm going to build the forester guy to overlap, and he will plant trees over here. And there will also be, see how there's a tree planted over here in this little middle area? So they will plant trees in this area, and the forest will become a fraction of the size. But it will still produce a reasonably good amount of output. You know, the only reason why you need those trees is for food. And that house are both already built, so there's obviously something good going on. I used my genius. Child of the age of 0. And this house is empty. You know what would be funny? If you had jobs like the barber, nail salon person, etc. Actually, you know, I designed video games, and the way I did it was it would name the roads based on either the geography or the resources. For example, this is a blacksmith, so the road would be called Blacksmith Road until the end of the game. Throughout the game, it would be called Blacksmith Road because he was the first one here who had a business here. Or if it's the first street, it might be called Main Street, and any extensions on it will be Main Street. So that was one of the ideas I had for these types of games. I was going to call my game Modern World. And I wasn't thinking about what age it was going to be, if it was going to be medieval or modern. I was just assumed that I would release 2 different versions. One would be a medieval version, and the other would be a modern version. You really need those graphs at some point because it will tell you when you're starting to trend to run out of food or tools or things like that. We need logs. So, we got laborers. Harvest trees. I'm going to go over here and just start harvesting. I don't remember, they don't chop down the small trees. Like this tree, they ain't going to chop down. You see they got mushrooms over here? But this tree in the middle of the screen might get chopped down. See over here it says previous season. He made 400 venison last season and 12 leather. This is showing that it's working. And you see you got 34 venison in the building. So he is producing food. And guess what? He probably does it year round, which is another reason why the farm is not such a great idea. And the farm can have issues. You can have crop issues that are going to show up later in the game. And those issues don't have a problem with the hunter. Like the hunter's not going to get eaten by a deer or something. Okay, we need to get logs. So I'm going to do a wider swath like this. Don't want to go too far away. Like I said, you can do it. But like if you go over here and you say cut these trees down, they will walk all the way over here and they will probably die in the process. Especially when the winter comes. What I'm saying is, let's say you have a large town and you've got houses everywhere. There's no cost to marking something for removal. Other than your people being brain dead. Another child was born. So that child will become an adult. We got 2 new laborers. Another child. So now I can go through and say we could use another hunter, use another forester. I believe the forester brings in food. Let's check it out. Log, stone, and iron. They will remove the iron and the stone and the logs. I guess they do not collect food. I'm not sure. They probably do. If there is food in their range, like those mushrooms, they'll probably pick up those mushrooms. 2 laborers. They're going to go around cutting trees down. We don't have anything under construction. So I believe that the builder